I have a friend who came to visit about 3 months ago, um, and she disclosed something to me about having struggles around food and binge eating, and the words she used were, she described her binge, like what she ate, and then she said, and then I was sick. And I froze. Because I knew exactly what she meant, but I was second guessing if I really knew exactly what she meant. And I was thinking, I just had no idea what to say back, because what she was describing, like, it was like, I don't know, maybe it was the first time I kind of unexpectedly had to own up to myself about what I was actually doing. But I was so desperate to keep it a secret that I wasn't ready. I hadn't prepared myself to be open to her to disclose back. And so I didn't. I just said, I mean, I kind of did. I did like a half-assed disclosure. I said, oh, I binge eat sometimes too. Understatement of the fucking century. And yeah, what happened is, over the following couple of months, I think, so she came to stay at the end of October, and it was beginning of January. So yeah, October, November, December, so 2 months. I thought about what had happened, and it just chewed away at me, because I just felt like a liar. I felt like she disclosed something difficult and I'd met it with lies because I hadn't disclosed back. And after Christmas, after I'd basically had this horrendous, fairly traumatic week with relatives where I'd just done so many messed up eating behaviours in secret while they weren't in the room or while they were asleep, and I came back just feeling, I don't know what I was feeling, so many things. And I think I just thought, fuck it, it's time to be honest with her. So I sent her a message and said, I wasn't honest. This is my reality. I do all of these things, listed the things that I do, and just apologised for not being straight. And on the back of that, we decided to help each other by staying accountable. So by telling each other if we binge ate or did any of the behaviours we were trying to stop doing. And I kept with it, kind of, and it actually did help. So it probably took me from doing the chewing food and spitting it out again. I think before we did that, if I'm honest, I was probably doing it more days than I wasn't. And often on a day I do it, it'll often be more than once that day, because kind of once I've started, I can't stop. And the making myself sick was probably multiple times a week. I think in my head I pretended it was only ever about once a week, but I think it was more than that. I probably went down to doing it about once, maybe twice a week. So it was an improvement, but then 2 or 3 times since we started that, I fell off the wagon big style. And instead of telling her at the time, I stopped contacting her, and I didn't reply to her messages for a week, 10 days, until I felt like I'd righted myself again, and I was back to doing those behaviours an acceptable number of times. And then I'd say in hindsight, oh, I'm really sorry, I fell off the wagon, but it's great, I'm back on again, I'm doing better. Because I couldn't face admitting how I was actually doing in the moment. I could only face admitting how I was doing once it was, and I'm back again. So I think something I've realised that I think is a really important part of this process is that I'm not telling the story retrospectively, that it's not an I used to have an eating disorder and now I'm recovered and now I'm happy to speak about it, because the problem is that a big part of me not addressing what's going on and not getting better is because I've been too scared to speak about it when the problem is still real. And if people can't speak about having an eating disorder when they have one, then they're never going to get help. So I think that has to change. I have no idea how that changes, but maybe by me recording this stuff, that's something that might help some people realise that talking about it, realise they have a problem, because they might see themselves in what I'm describing, and realise that talking about it can help.